point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
At the tender age of 22, I headed to the only place that befit my high-minded ambition.
Greed is right.
Move the money from your client's pocket into your pocket.
Greed works.
22 billion in 3 hours!
And greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar Paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA.
Yeah.
A lot of people hated that movie. I was not one of them. Michael Douglas and Leonardo DiCaprio helped capture the wild ways of Wall Street in the 1980s. So did our next guest. He was actually there. Michael Lewis. He's the author of numerous great best-selling books, and the one that started out, Liar's Poker. The book is being re-released on the 25th anniversary.
25 years.
Michael joins us now along with
CNBC's chief international correspondent, Michelle Caruso Cabrera.
Pleasure to be here and to be with Michael Lewis on this important date.
Michael, I have to ask you the day after the World. I have to ask you the day after the World Series about, everybody loved to say, oh, Moneyball, great, it worked 1 or 2 years, but it worked again this year. Like the A's, if they hadn't have taken, if the A's had not taken John Lester out in the 7th inning, chances are good it wouldn't have been the Royals playing last night. It would have been the A's. It's still working.
It's more than that. I mean, the A's, they're the Moneyball team, but all these teams now have big analytic departments. I mean, they have transformed baseball. And so it's the idea that there's like a Moneyball team and an anti-Moneyball team, it just doesn't exist
They're
anymore.
all Moneyball teams, which has made it harder, of course, for Billy Beane because everybody's followed his
Say what he says. He tells me, he says the stuff that you wrote about in Moneyball was basically public information. I mean, we were essentially using things you get off the web.
Yeah, how much is he going to stick around in baseball?
A while, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, but he says that actually the analytics has gotten so sophisticated that he won't let me in to see it because they're actually secrets.
Wow.
So there's R&D at every team. I think everybody's doing it a little differently, but the idea has swept the sport.
Remember the initial question in the introduction to your book was posed to Paul Volcker, actually, right? Wasn't he the original guy meant to answer the question?
Oh, that's right.
Does money
That's right.
matter to baseball or not?
That's exactly
right. And it's the same guy who's now the author of the Volcker Rule.
When they're trying to decide whether to turn baseball into football and basketball, were you going to level the revenue field so everybody had the same amount of money to spend? And he didn't understand. It's the obvious question, like how can a team with $40 million compete against a team with $120 million?
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, there's two answers. One is that you can learn things and find out things and they market inefficiencies, but also there's just a huge amount of randomness in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know where the ball's going to land.
Yeah.
And so people see the Giants win, and then they start to tell a story about how that was always going to happen.
Right.
But it really could have gone either way.
It's just like the Red Sox from worst to first to worst.
Yeah.
And last year you had 7 guys who had their best season ever, and it was never going to happen again.
Yeah.
Sometimes lightning just strikes, especially in playoffs. Let's go back to this. 25 years later, what's changed?
Yes, what great, productive, positive moves.
Because you talked about Wall Street run by a bunch of people that made way too much money, played fast and loose with the rules. What's changed in 25 years?
The era I describe looks charming and innocent.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The book really. It starts when this era of Wall Street starts. Right. It's the death of the partnership. So all of a sudden, it's not their money they're speculating with; it's shareholder money. It's the rise. It's a creation of options, basically, which leads to derivatives, which makes everything also complicated that nobody understands it. And it's the idea that these banks, at that time, investment banks, weren't essentially service operations but trading operations.
Yeah.
And that's become more and more and more true. The big changes are too big to fail. The notion of too big to fail, because firms did go out of business. Big firms went out of business back then, and it was just
no more. And they're bigger now, Michelle.
Wasn't it also the time of incredible innovation, deregulation that allowed for the creation of mortgage-backed securities, which maybe to the detriment at some point in our recent history, made it much easier to get a home because there was a lot more capital available. Oil trading started at that time. I mean, there's so much stuff that happened back then people who worked at Salomon Brothers during that time period, when you meet them to this day, they look back on that time period with joy, with nostalgia, etc. They thought it was a great place to work.
It was. It was terrific.
You loved it, right? You
I
wrote
loved
about the place with love.
No, I wrote about the place with love. I love the people. I'm still in touch with a lot of the people.
Yeah.
And what it was, I guess, so there was a surface vulgarity. Strippers on the trading floor was not unusual. You would see someone.
Really?
You'd see a woman dancing naked on a desk. And you think,
No.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, you would not.
Really?
Wait a minute.
I mean, that happens in the Today Show newsroom, but I didn't think that happened anywhere else.
So there was there was
It doesn't
gambling on
happen
the trading
anymore,
floor.
maybe.
There was a surface vulgarity, but beneath it there was a sense of financial propriety. I mean, it's like people were asking, they were asking, more likely to ask, like, what I'm doing actually useful? And there was at that time I think there was an opportunity for innovation to be useful. The mortgage bonds, the creation of the mortgage bond was a hugely beneficial thing.
Yes.
And then it metastasized into this subprime mortgage.
Sounds like it was like a little bit like the Wolf of Wall Street back then. The surface vulgarity.
No, those people thought they were changing the world.
That's true.
They thought they were
They
changing
thought
for
it
the
changed
better.
and
also indulging in a little surface vulgarity.
yes, you could
A
deduct.
little?
JFK did
Strip
both.
club.
I'm not sure.
You can say you can do both.
Yes, it was.
You can do both at the same time.
There was so some of the scenes from Wolf of Wall Street were not entirely unfamiliar to me, but I think a lot of that was just Martin Scorsese's fantasy life. I don't think it had much to do with Wall Street.
And that's a boiler room. That was pure fraud, right? I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Wall Street firms presumably aren't built on fraud.
No, everything he was doing was illegal, right? I
Right.
mean, all the business side of things
Yeah.
was illegal.
In the movie.
I don't think that was a good description of the street. It was a
But it was a good movie.
It was a funny movie.
Please, let's not let facts get in the way of good movies.
The point you're making, though, is that the things that were the same then and now, right, is that a lot of the best and brightest kids coming out of college flock to Wall Street for the obvious reason.
And that kind of started then.
Yeah, kind of
used
started.
to be the bottom half
Yes.
of the class of Yale that went.
Right.
And it was kind of nice young men who were presentable, but they weren't going to cause any trouble because they weren't bright enough to.
And it's the one thing that's remained the same, but it's remained the same ever since, right?
Yeah.
We go through various booms and busts, various cycles. The truth is, it still is the case because there's a lot of money to be made there. Now, I think your critique basically is that most of the stuff that goes on in Wall Street is both socially and economically unproductive.
A lot of it is. A lot of the innovation is, I think.
Is there any way to change? I mean, this is like big macro meta question, right? Is there any way to change the incentive structure in our society so that the best and brightest college students no longer went into this field that is largely socially and economically unproductive?
I mean, as a practical matter, probably not.
Right.
But the kind of things you could do, I mean, what really needs to happen is the incentives of the employees of the firms have to be back realigned with the firm. So they don't have that now. So you see these rigging of LIBOR and rigging of foreign exchange markets and rigging of the stock market, all this stuff, which doesn't make a lot of sense from the point of view of the firm because if they make some money, but the risk
fines
for the
are so
firm,
huge.
yes, but it makes sense at the level of the employee because he's at his firm for a few years. He's trying to get a bonus at the end of the year, and then he's off.
What about throwing a lot of people in jail? Would that have a chilling
effect? The hard part is finding the illegality, right? I mean, proving the case. But yes, that might do it. But I don't know if the carrot always works better than the stick on Wall Street. Sort of like if you pay them to behave well, they'll behave well.
So Michelle, 25 years ago, this is when things started to get a lot more complex, and didn't we get to a point also? That was a point 25 years ago where the SEC could keep up with the firms.
I don't know that the SEC's ever kept up.
But
Ever.
it's gotten even worse now. It is worse now. They have no.
And yet we give them more
goodness.
money, and then they still don't. Right? I mean,
Well, it's
a
kind of hard.
example of an organization.
It's kind of hard.
They had more money.
Well, it's kind of hard for people that are
making.
making $75,000 to track down people that are making $1 billion.
Well, it's especially hard when the guys making $75,000 a year assume that the next step is to go make
Exactly.
$1 billion,
and that's just normal now. It's not no one even questions it.
Yeah.
And also that when the financial markets get as complicated as they've become, it's very easy for a smart Wall Street person to walk into an SEC meeting and make it sound beyond their comprehension, or at least so complicated you don't want to screw with it because you don't know the consequences of what you're doing. So it's a difficult environment for a regulator to operate in, I think.
Almost impossible. The 25th anniversary edition of Liar's Poker is out now. Michael Lewis, thank you. Always great to have you on.
We love having you. you here.
And
Thanks for having me.
CNBC's Michelle Caruso Cabrera, thank you as well.
What are you working on right now?
I'm writing a pilot for a drama for Showtime, The Set on
Very
Wall Street in the 1920s.
No
Oh, that's going to be
That's
good.
awesome.
That's the rest
All
of my
right,
year.
there you
Okay.
go. Coming up, it's one of the most controversial covers of Time magazine in recent memory. Time's Nancy Gibbs responds to the huge reaction from her magazine's Rotten Apple story in just a few minutes. But first, just a remarkable scene in Hawaii as the volcano's lava is making its way toward a large residential area. We'll be right back.